So this video is about one of my favorite things, Microsoft Excel. This is really cool because if you like maths, Excel lets you do like heaps and heaps of maths really quickly. So a quick tour. Each one of these little squares here is called a cell. Now we have columns, column A, column B, column C, and we have rows, row 1, row 2, row 3. So this cell is called cell A1, and this cell over here is called C3, so on and so forth. Now this is called our formula bar. That's about all we need to do to really get started. Okay, so I'm going to put the number 1 right here. And I'm going to put the number 2 right here. Now Excel's really cool because if I highlight those two things and then I press this little thing right in the corner, click and drag down, I can get all of the numbers from 1 to 20 straight away. Alright, that's pretty neat. Now, what if I wanted to add 5 to every single one of those numbers? Well, putting it into a calculator would take a really long time. So instead, I can go into this and put in a formula. Now, whenever you want a formula in Excel, you first have to press equal sign. And then I'm going to do cell A1. So equals cell A2. I'm going to press A2. So you can see now my formula says equals A2. And then I'm going to press plus 5. That says take whatever's in cell A2 and add 5 to it. Boop. Okay, that's really cool. Now, watch this. If I just click and drag that formula down, Excel is really clever because it adds 5 to every one of the cells next to it. Excel guesses that if you wanted cell A2 here, because you're dragging down, you probably wanted cell A3 in the next one, plus 5. Etc, etc, etc. Really cool. What if I wanted to add these two cells together? I can use the same idea. Equals this cell plus this cell. So now it says equals A2 plus B2. Boop. And again, I can drag it down and I get a bunch of the same formula. So you can see down the bottom here, 20 plus 25 is 45. Now, of course, there are lots and lots of things we can do. Any mathematical formula that you can think of, you can do in Excel. So if I want to do this number, if I want to do these two numbers multiplied by each other, I can do equals this cell times, which is this little asterisk, shift 8, times this cell, C2, equals B2 times C2, 42. Now imagine how long it would take you to do that multiplication. All you need to do is drag it down and you've done 20 multiplications straight away. 25 times 45 is 1,125. Now of course I can do like subtraction equals this minus this, and of course I can drag that down. I can do division equals this cell divided by this cell. So it's a little backslash, I think it is. This cell divided by this cell. And you can see I've done a bunch of divisions straight away. This is just like really cool. Alright, there's probably one more thing I want to show you, and it can be a little bit tricky to wrap your head around. So I'm going to open up a totally new sheet. Alright, so we're in sheet 1 at the moment. If I press this little plus button, I'll have a second sheet, sheet 2, and you can see it's blank. And this is a really cool thing about Excel. I'm going to make a thing that automatically calculates the area of a rectangle for me. So relatively straightforward. So I'm going to highlight like 7 cells all together here. And then I'm going to click merge. And that merges all the cells together. That's just so I can type in automatic rectangle area calculator. Alright, and then I'm going to say length. And I'm going to put width here. And that's so that someone, if they want, I'll highlight these 4 cells and put them in green. If someone wants to, they can put a length of their rectangle in here, 10. And they can put the width of their rectangle in here, let's say 5, right? And then we'll just say the area. And then in this cell, we'll say the area is equal to this times this. Length times width. Boop. This is magic, right? Because now what we have is something that you can give to somebody. You can say, this Excel spreadsheet will automatically calculate the area of a rectangle for you. So if you put the number 8 in there, now you've got a rectangle that's 8 by 5, and we know the area is going to be 40. What if the length was 227 and the width was 123? No problem. Straight away, our Excel can automatically calculate the area of that shape. Now, there is one more thing I want to show you, and it is a little bit tricky. So I'm going to go back to sheet 1 to show you this. Okay, now, so far I've been adding these two cells together and dragging it down and always using that same cell. But what if I wanted to take like the number, I'll put a number way over here at the side, and let's call it we'll call it our magic number. And this one, my magic number is going to be the number 10 at the moment, right? What if I wanted to multiply all of those numbers by 10? Okay, one way I could do it would be to write equals this times 10. And I could just drag it down. Okay, that works. But it's not very efficient, because if I just changed my mind and I wanted to multiply everything by 11, then I would need to go into my original formula, change that to 11, and then go back down here and drag it down so that everything else is 11. So you can see that's not very efficient. All right, Control Z, back to where we were. Instead, what we use is called an absolute cell reference. Absolute cell reference. So we're going to say, I want to do equals this cell times this cell. Okay. Now, but when I do that cell, Q3, I need to put a $sign at the Q and a $sign at the 3. Because that way, when I drag it down, each formula, you can see, is always Q3. Okay, if I didn't put the $signs there, if I dragged it down, the next formula would be Q4, the next formula would be Q5, Q6, and it would lose that particular one. And then the magic of that is that I can change that number and instantly change 20 formulas. I can change it to this number and instantly change 20 formulas. I can change it to this number and instantly change 20 formulas. Professional Excel writers never put numbers in their formulas. They always put numbers into a different cell and then use that cell in their formula. It really shows you know what you're doing when it comes to Excel. All right, I think that's enough to get you started.